Good evening, good evening. Welcome to G's One of One Sunday Evenings. And I'm just gonna wait another minute or so just to allow some individuals to get the notification and jump right in. I didn't come with a special specific topic tonight. Um, it's just literally gonna be a Q&A. So I'm going to actually take a little different approach because usually I come with a list of things that I want to talk about that I prep, but I decided that tonight would just be about the chat. You know what I mean? We'll get into it. You're not going to be here before you that long, but just to give people opportunity to ask the questions and go with what it is that they feel like tonight. All right, so we'll get started in about a minute. Well, actually, a little less than a minute, as we allow some people to actually figure out and see that we're on and jump in and join the chat. Okay. It looks like we got about 7 people in here, so please make sure that you take a moment, like the stream, and tap that notification button so you get alerted when it is that we actually are here and available on Sunday evenings. Okay, just tap that like and the notification bell, and we'll get started in about 30 seconds. So just wanted to give people opportunity to see that we were live, and tonight is going to be, hey Jen, how you doing? It's going to be just a Q&A, and we're going to talk about what y'all want to talk about. Generally, I come on and I talk about a host of things, that I would like to talk about. But tonight, we're going to just answer you guys' questions. Because I usually go back to the questions at the end and filter through. But that's what we're going to do. So we'll get started in about 10 seconds and just get right into it. So if you got any questions, make sure you put the Q's in the chat so that way I know that they're questions. Put the Q's in the chat so we can answer any questions that you guys might have on this Sunday night. And like I said, we won't be before you long. I mean, that's dependent on you guys, whether you have questions or not. If you don't, then I guess we'll end early. But if you got questions, just go ahead and put them in the chat. Okay? And we got 5 individuals watching and 1 like. So please take a moment to actually like the actual stream so that way, we teach the algorithm that this is what it is that you like to see and you'll be notified. Tap the notification bell and it makes it easier. And if you have the ability, hype the videos. Okay, that's the other new feature is hyping the videos. Okay. So I'll go ahead and get started, talk about a little bit while, people go and hit my week a little bit while people are, coming over and seeing that we're on here. Because I didn't do the notification earlier today. I wasn't sure, 100% sure if I was getting on tonight, but I do like to, continue to make sure that I actually, show up here on Sunday nights. So the actual Foundeo is pretty much what it is that a lot of people are talking about, that Achieve trial. I might read a little bit about that. But as far as my week, this week, everybody know that last Saturday I lost 100. I was down 101 pounds. I'm still holding at 99 point something or other. I checked this morning. So I actually went up a little bit. I actually went up a little higher than that and then came down. And I had an event last week, and things. I didn't get to actually do my resistance training this week the way I like to, or my walking, because I was very active because I had a lot going on at work, so I felt like I was okay. But needless to say, that little bit of a gain that I had earlier in the week, and I'm not a person that weighs multiple times. I usually just weigh on the weekend. I actually lost 1.5 pounds today, based on even being up, to 220, because I was 219 technically, 218.6 when I was 101 pounds, but 219 earlier in the week. So I actually, after following the event and everything that I had going on, had saw 222 or 223, and now today I'm back to 221. So yeah, the 15. That's a good question, Jen. That was the other big thing. I actually took my first 15 milligram on. I took that on Friday. so Friday morning. And honestly, I feel good. You know, that's why I try not to review Zepbound before 1 month. You got to kind of give it a month or two to actually really like give what it is, because I think it's like, I feel like it's escalating. You know what I mean? It's an escalation type drug. So escalation type treatment. So that's kind of like what it is, that I feel like the reason why I feel like it's better to review after a month or two. But as far as the first few days, I did get a little bit tired yesterday. I took my kids to dinner, and while I was at the dinner, I got a little bit tired, and I actually took my actual Pro Edge vitamins that I actually preach everybody else that have energy issues should get. I actually, like I said, I took that because I knew I had this 50. It was the first time with me taking the 15. So with me doing that, I wanted to make sure that, you know what I mean, I didn't get that fatigue. But that remains to be seen. So like tomorrow, I skipped today because I don't work on Sunday, so I didn't take the vitamin, but I'll be taking it tomorrow morning before work. So that'll be, another thing. So I'll actually make sure I take that for a couple of days just to make sure I don't get, the fatigue. Hopefully that misses me. But we'll see, because like I said, these shots are compounding. So I feel like every week you take it, it's actually building in your system. In fact, I know that's what it is. So that's where I think some of the side effect might come from for some, is that it's actually building in the system, and that causes that those different side effects later on. Because right now I actually went 8 days without before I took that shot. I actually waited 8 days. I took the 12.5 on the Thursday before last. So that was, and I would take my shot on Fridays. So it was actually 8 days. And I could tell too, and this is why I know my food noise is so bad, because by the time I got to this actual Thursday, I was like, man, this is crazy. You know what I mean? Hey, Darren, how you doing, man? So I was like, this is a little crazy. You know what I mean? I'm getting this much noise. So that's why I feel like it makes sense, you know what I mean, that I actually am where I am with the treatment, because I know that it is a need for me, because I know how my food noise is. And thank God side effects not too bad, so hey, thank you for everybody that's actually joined the stream. We got 7 people watching and 5 likes, so please make sure that we actually, when you come in, you like the stream and hit that notification bell, so that way you're notified when it is that we go live. Just for anybody that don't know, tonight is question and answer. I didn't come with a prepared theme. I was just going over the 101 pounds and me actually, gaining a little weight. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? To Jerlene and Paul, appreciate y'all coming in. Yeah, like I actually went up a little bit early in the week, and then I came back down this weekend after taking that 15. Because one thing is for certain, it had me, going to the bathroom quite a bit. As far as like peeing, like I was peeing like probably, I want to say the night that I took it, which was Friday, I want to say like Saturday morning, like I was going to the bathroom like crazy. I'm like, oh, this 15 is different. It do hit different, because it had me, going to the bathroom. That's probably what attributed to me losing that pound and a half, because I did lose a pound and a half. So I'm not saying that I'm now down 102.5 pounds. No, I'm saying that the weight that I did pick up early in the week after my 101 pound loss. So I feel like that 101 pound was because I think I had underate a little bit last week and didn't drink a lot, and I actually worked out quite a bit. So that 3 pounds I lost was probably because I was kind of on fumes a little bit. So when I actually went back up, that 2 pounds, I didn't mind, you know what I mean? So going back to being 99 pounds from 101 pounds, I wasn't mad at it, because I knew I had to refuel and everything. And I did that. So right now, today I was 221, right? I was 221. So, cause I had went up to 223, but I've since lost a pound and a half, since then. So, that 220, kind of like puts me, still like right under obesity. So I'm still not mad at it. You know what I mean? So as long as I don't get back into obesity, that's my only thing. And I went on a 15, like I said, because one, I know my food noise is strong, and two, it's because I'm actually moving to 90-day supply. So I wanted to see, before I moved up, I didn't want to get a 90-day supply at 15 and it doesn't treat me well. So I decided that, hey, what I want to do is make sure that I actually get on it for a month or two. I'll probably be on it for April, May, summer, June, and then I'll go ahead and get my 90-day supply. I still do get prior authorizations through Optum RX, and thankfully they have continued to approve my medication. So I got, and they approve it 6 months at a time. So I actually was just reapproved this week. I think this Thursday. My doctor's office called me, I think Wednesday, and then Thursday they actually reapproved me again. So I've been approved, at least, like I said, through, what is that, October? Is that what that is? Yeah, like October. So every 6 months, I get approved. Now I do got just some blood work coming up next month in May. So I'll be doing that, and I start my physical therapy this coming Wednesday for my neck, so I can get back to lifting weights because I do really want to get back to that because I like the way my body started to look with me lifting them, and I haven't been able to. And like I explained, tonight is going to be all about Q&A. So if you guys got questions, put the Q's in the chat so that way I know that there's questions and I can just answer, anything you guys want to talk about because I purposefully did not prepare, a certain thing because I know I'm used to coming on here Sundays and talking, at you guys. But tonight I want to talk with you. So for a change, just tonight, what we're going to do is we're going to just have Q&A. However long the live lasts based on that, then that'll be it. You know what I mean? So, get the cues and the questions in the chat, and then I'll answer them as they come, through the screen, and we'll conclude, when you guys don't have any more questions, okay? But I was just going over my week real quick, because this is week 67 for me that I'm in now, and I'm down 99 pounds. I was down 101 last week, but we down 99 pounds right now. Because I felt like, I underate a little bit last week because I was so busy. We had the event, and not purposefully, and I worked out quite a bit. So that's what actually helped me to get to that 101 pounds. But we always do everything healthy over here. And so therefore, like I said, this week I made sure I got a lot of nutrition, a lot of fluid. And I didn't actually work out as much as I wanted to because I was really busy with work and doing things. So I did walk, quite a bit, but not my working out. So I'm definitely getting back to that tomorrow. I'll be doing my walk and my resistance training. So there's that. And Wednesday, like I said, is my appointment. So any questions y'all got, just fire them off in the chat. Like I said, this is Q&A night. And like I said, when you guys are done, then the live will be done. You know what I mean? So we didn't prepare a lot tonight because I wanted to do a Q&A where you guys actually get a chance to ask questions because a lot of times you guys ask questions, I try to get to them at the end and might miss some, you know what I mean? So I'm just going to do it a little bit different tonight versus me just talking at you guys, Send in what you want and I'll answer it, all right? So Jen did ask how I was doing on the 15, so that's pretty much what I was talking about. The 15 milligram, so far it treated me well. It was only my, technically third day because I took it on Friday. So this is, I'm sorry, this is my second day, I should say, because I actually took it on Friday morning. So this was my second full day of actually being on that 15 milligram. And like I was telling them, on Saturday, I peed a whole lot. And then I think it was definitely from that. I mean, I did drink a good deal of water, probably about 100 ounces, but I definitely peed more than usual. I was going to the bathroom. I'm telling you, Constipation might have picked up a little bit, from that 12.5. I can tell kind of like automatically, because even with all the food and the water I drank, and I took Mago 7 and Marilax, I still didn't have like, a volume, stool. So, and TMI for some people that might not be, accustomed to that kind of language. G started with a brand new DEXA-like scale that tells all kinds of markers. How are you enjoying it, weighing daily, weekly? Well, yes, I did. I'm actually loving it. And I actually implore anybody that's listening to actually go out, and I'm not being paid by these individuals, but I would like to say it's a great scale. The Renpho Morphoscan Nova is definitely one that I would recommend because that scale actually led me to be able to see that my visceral fat was in a healthy range. You know what I mean? My visceral fat, based on Renpho, because Renpho measurement for healthy visceral fat is from 1 to 9, and I'm a 9. So that means that I don't have the visceral fat I thought I had based on my other Bluetooth scale. My like $30 Bluetooth scale from I think Walmart. You know what I mean? Like that actually did good for my overall weight and like a bit of a guide, but now having that DEXA, it really lets me. No, I'm sorry, not the DEXA. The DEXA-like scan in that Renpho, and it's important to delineate like which one. I am talking about the Morphoscan Nova, which is the new one. You know what I mean? So you definitely want to make that investment so you can know what your actual measurements are. Because my actual body fat was also much less than I thought. Here it is. I'm thinking I'm at 28, 29, 30%, and my actual body fat, well, it was at 24 during that 101. It's at 25 today. But I mean, that's still very exciting to have 25% body fat when I'm thinking I'm at 30 or 29, 28, whatever it was the last when I was at down 101 pounds. So yes, it's very important to get appropriate scale. You know what I mean? No, the old school scale is not Renpho. The old school scale is just a standard Bluetooth. What is the name of that? I can't think of the name of it right now, but it's definitely like a standard Bluetooth that has like the app and all that. But it's not a Renpho. You know what I mean? But I feel like all Renphos aren't created equal either. You know what I'm saying? I think that just like everything else with what's going on right now, I feel like what they did was they also decided to improve. You know what I mean? So he has a great value scale. No, it wasn't great value. I mean, my wife bought that scale. It was a respectable scale, but it just wasn't respectable when it came to body composition. You know what I mean? Like, so that's the thing. Like, it gave me my total weight, and it did, with the best it could, but it definitely was not this. And I mean, of course, like, I mean, we're talking about almost 200. Well, I think the Renpho Nova regular price is like 235 to 240 bucks. But I actually paid like pretty much like 190. I caught it on sale. I paid like $190 for it on Amazon. So shoot over to Amazon and grab that Renpho Morphoscan Nova, okay? Because there is a difference. It's much different because I'm telling you, a lot of times we chasing readings that aren't accurate. And the biggest thing is those electrodes in there are the biggest thing because now you have 8 electrodes that are actually coursing through your body, checking everything and not just your feet. Because what's happening with all those other scales is they just guesstimating. It's guesstimating what the top half of your body is. And that's problematic because this is where all the visceral fat and all of the things we talk about is. It's not in your legs. It's in the trunk and in that upper body and all that. So that's why you want to get those electrodes. Because with mine is you put the thumbs on here and then you wrap around and then it gets your top. It's no longer an estimate. Like it literally breaks it all down. And I actually did a video a few days earlier this week, just because I hadn't done a video on my page in quite a long time and kind of went over the stuff, and I'll go over it again for you guys. Basically, what the Renpho told me is that I'm very muscular, right? So are you saying that my Renpho scale is probably inaccurate? Well, it depends on the one you have. I mean, I think that I can't speak for the older ones. If you have a Morphoscan Nova, I'm just speaking to that, which is the latest one. I'm not saying throw out your old Renpho, but I'm just saying I feel like, at the very least you should probably have, one that does body composition with the 8. I don't have that. Yes. So yes, I am saying that then, Nisa. I'm saying that. Yep. So I got to be honest with you. Yes, it's very great for measuring weight, Darian, but it's not so good for actually giving you accuracy for body composition. So yes. So I would say please get one, Darian. They get all high and mighty once they get expensive. No, not high and mighty, but accuracy is important. The biggest thing that I say to take away from this is that for you guys is that we chase these numbers daily, right? You know what I'm saying? Don't they, Dr. J? We chase these numbers daily, and like I said, the biggest one for me is just put this in perspective, right? Here it is, I'm chasing, and I don't know, but I'm like, hey, I got to get this visceral fat down, and come to find out, I'm in a healthy range for visceral fat, and what I actually have is subcutaneous. My fat is primarily subcutaneous. So that means that it's just aesthetic fat that I want to get, it's fat that's not aesthetically pleasing that I want to get removed, So, and I went for don't buy one of poor people, this fancy one. Oh, Lord. No, so I actually went for a consultation for the cool sculpting, you know what I mean? And needless to say, I'm gonna get a second opinion because, well, we all got subcutaneous fat, Anissa, but the thing is how, versus the visceral fat, how much, because the subcutaneous is not dangerous. The visceral fat is, right? Well, I mean, so to speak, within reason, because I think I got about, my subcutaneous fat is about 18%. So 18% is about subcutaneous fat. My visceral, not percentage, but score was a 9. And 1 through 9 means that it's within a healthy range. So I have minimal visceral fat and quite a bit subcutaneous fat. But I went for a that's good. That's good then. If it's giving you 9, you know what I mean, it's accurate. That's a good thing. Hey, Sweatpants and Champagne. If it's giving you 9 and it's on a Renpho, then I would say most likely good. But what I was saying was you need the 8 electrodes, not the 4, because the 4 that's on your feet isn't enough because it's literally guesstimating the top of your body. You wanted to actually give you a a proper and I got to start saying Shayna too. It's probably a lot easier than saying sweatpants and champagne. But yeah, it's a lot easier to do that because basically what it's doing is it's actually checking the entire body. And like I said, it's not estimating because the other scales are just estimating the top, and not actually measuring. Now, when you put your hands on those other electrodes, it actually measures your arms, your legs, your trunk, all that. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So that's the thing, and it's on Amazon. You don't even got to search for it. Just to remind everybody, tonight we are just doing question and answer. So if you got questions, put those cues up and throw it in the chat. We're just having a conversation. We're not doing like I'm not teaching tonight. I'm just reading the chat and I'm talking to y'all like we sitting around with each other. So pretend that we sitting in a room together and we just talking. So whatever you want to ask me, put the cues up and then ask the question. I'm all good with it. Okay? So ask the questions. We just sitting around talking. It's just a conversation. That's all. I'm not like, spouting off teaching. I was just going over my week. I took a 15 milligram of the Zepbound for the first time. I said that my food noise is definitely really bad because when I took it, I knew I really, needed it because I went 8 days off of a shot. Purposefully, though. I purposely waited 8 days before I took the 15. I actually, because... So the half-life of our medications, are still pretty strong at like 5 days. So I waited 8 because I wanted to be pretty low when I took the 15. I had the event coming up and I said, well, I'm gonna take it Thursday instead of Friday because my event was last Sunday. And I said, well, hey, what I want to do is I want to actually be kind of like, have like low serum at that time when I take the 15. And lo and behold, like I said, I've been, really good. I don't, like I said, like to review medications after a couple of days because that's not a true review. I need at least 1 month to tell you what it really did because these medications or treatments build in your system over weeks and months. I missed the beginning. Did you get the Renpho measuring tape too or just the scale? Just the scale. I didn't get the measurement tape. I mean, that's cool, but I already know my measurements because I use my good old trusty regular tape measure. You know what I mean? So I know exactly what my measurements are as far as that's concerned. But the actual scale, I'm loving it because with the additional 4 electrodes that actually go through your arms, it actually measures your torso, the top of your body. Whereas the other ones that you step on they're measuring the bottom of the bottom of your body, but they're actually just guesstimating the top. And the most telling thing for me was the visceral fat numbers. Here it is. I'm thinking I got, I'm chasing, like trying to get rid of that visceral fat, and I don't have much, right? I'm in a healthy range of visceral fat. My score was a 9 on that scale. 1 to 9 is actually in a healthy range for visceral fat. That's not to say I don't have any, but it's not dangerous. I don't have any dangerous visceral fat that I thought I did by having that traditional scale. And for all those that want to know, you need the Renpho scale. We say it takes your measurements at 0.001 of an inch. No, I say go ask Twan what she think about that tape, about the digital app, measurements, because I think she want to go back to the tape. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, the tape measure I like. I like the good old regular tape measure. But as far as the Renpho, I was talking about the Nova, the Morphoscan Nova, the latest one, Yes, Anissa does have a Renpho. But she doesn't have the one with the actual electrodes that you actually hold and actually measures the top of the body. She just has the one that guesstimates like the rest of them, which might be a little bit more of a better guesstimation. But what's entailed here is not necessarily Renpho itself. It's just that it has 8 electrodes. Those 8 electrodes are actually going through the entire body, so you're getting an actual real measurement of everything, all your limbs and all of that. You know what I mean? So, and the good thing for me is my limbs are pretty much equivalent, right? I don't have like, my right arm's a little bit smaller than the left, but I'm left-handed. So it makes perfect sense because I actually utilize my left all the time, and it's, minusculely, like trivially smaller than the other one. My legs were actually also even. My body had good symmetry. And again, I was very muscular, is what it said. It literally says that. And I actually did put if you guys want to actually see my results, you can go to my post, like after this live. I did post my actual results from it when I first, got on it, when I was down to 101 pounds. So it'll tell you what it says. I was above average with my muscle, skeletal and mass. and fat free. You know what I mean? So hey, Grant, how you doing, man? Sorry I missed your live. You actually kind of went live right before me, right around this time. So other than that, I would have been on there. Congratulations to 1,000 subscribers. I'm still trying to get there, so maybe I'll pick up some tips from you because I still haven't been so lucky. And I don't want to say lucky because you work for it, but yeah, I'm just here, spreading what it is that I know, doing the best I can. But yes, so 14 people in the actual chat. So please like the actual stream because we want to make sure that the algorithm knows that this is the type of information that you like and that's channels you want to see, and hit the notification bell so you get notified when it is that I go live here on Sundays. Most people know I go live on Sundays around 8 o'clock, but I still like you guys to hit the notification bell because every now and then I'll jump in and I'll do something in the middle of the week like I did today. Did this week. I did like a video on Thursday because I hadn't done a video on my channel in like forever, and I wanted people to know that it was still a thriving, fresh channel. So I wanted a video in there that would actually be, something that they could actually, go look at now with an update. You know what I mean? So, and what better time than to be 100 pounds down to do that? So just a quick recap. Tonight is a live Q&A. So guys, put the Q's and put the questions in the chat, and I will answer any questions you like. I was just recapping my week, and I was talking about me taking my first shot of the 15 milligram. That's all. That's pretty much all I was talking about, all you missed. So we can actually sit here and talk like you talking to me in person, and just put the questions in the chat, and I'll answer them, as quickly and as thoroughly as I possibly can. All right? So the 15 had me going to the bathroom because I took it Friday and Saturday. I was, I'm talking about like peeing. I kept peeing. I was like, man, I did drink a good deal of water, but my goodness, like I definitely knew it hit my system though. You know what I mean? But to give a full review, like I said, I'll need a month or two. Then I can give you a really good review. But I do agree with going up. I waited 8 days, like I said, before I took it because I wanted to have low serum in my actual body. What do you see for the next phase of your health journey? So basically what I'm gonna do is like I said, just keep working towards getting down to that like 198 200 pound range. Because like I said, I don't want to be like this week where if I eat something and I don't go to the bathroom, and I pick up 3 or 4 pounds, I'm back to somewhere I don't want to be. You know what I mean? Because I share with most people I was 219 on like a Monday, on like Sunday, and then on Tuesday I got on the scale and I was 223. You know what I mean? So I'm like, well, I also didn't go to the bathroom. I also didn't, do my resistance training because I had so much going on. So this is not really like a real reading. At least 15 had you peeing and not coming from the yeah, that's right. But hey, Jen, I actually wouldn't even mind coming from the other end if I could clean out my system without doing a colonoscopy treatment. So you know what I mean? Like I don't mind it. That's what I actually loved about the 12. On the 12.5, I went to the bathroom much more than I did on that 10. 12.5 was actually good to me. And if I have to go down, I'm going back to the 12 because I actually love the 12. 12, it was no problem with the 12 at all. You know what I mean? It curtailed my hunger and everything. So I'm good on the 12. I actually like to go back. If I would go back to that before I went to the 10. You know what I mean? Who knows? Long as I don't get like that brain, people say when you get the brain fog, and I've yet to, really feel like I got that, I did felt like I had, a little bit of like that skin irritation. What do they call? I can't remember. I can't think of the name of it right now, but I felt like I got a little bit of that also on Saturday, after I took it. It might be a little too soon, but I did feel like I got like the little sensations from actually, just getting used to the medication. But that was short lived, you know what I mean? But I think the 15, I hope it'd be good. But like I said, on the next end of my journey is gonna be just like I said, me trucking along to try to get down to that 198, 200 pounds. So like I said, if I gain 3 or 4 pounds, I don't even think about it. Because like I said, as long as I can stay under 220, I'm not obese. So yeah, the regular skin sensitivity. That's all. Just like the skin sensitivity that they talk about having on the different medications. You hear a lot more of it in the about that in the what is it? What's the trial? The retatrutide trial. They talk about that, but it might not have been that. I'm just saying, like I felt a little bit of it, but I don't know if it was that. You know what I mean? So, But in general, like I said, I felt really good. I didn't really have much of anything. I feel like, like I said, really good for it to be the 15, because everybody put so much spin on it. Like, oh, you taking the 15? Whoa, no, it's not. It was, and honestly, it's nothing. I haven't felt anything like like other than, like I said, it made me pee quite a bit more. You know what I mean? And I did get a little bit drowsy. You know what I'm saying? When I was at dinner last night, but I've been taking my Pro Edge vitamin one a days. So I think, anytime I start a new dose, I usually pick up on taking them a little bit more often, because I don't take them every day. Because what that is just a super dose of a lot of vitamin B. Technically, Alladenia. Yeah, I don't know. No, it wasn't about my see. That's what I'm saying. Like I don't know if it's enough for me to get on here saying all that, because it was just like short lived and it wasn't like a big deal. So I don't know if I experience it again. I would say it. You know what I mean? But I just mentioned it because I'm not sure if that's like what it was. You know what I mean? But again, I mean, I was on a 12.5, so I didn't expect it to be a whole lot, because my body actually got ready, because I was on the 12.5 for 4 months. You know what I mean? So being on that for 4 months, it's not that drastic of a jump. You know what I mean? Yeah. Allodynia. Because you got the other one, which is the brain fog. You know what I mean? That they talk about after a while, but not none of that. Y'all not gonna ever hear me getting on here crying about no bunch of side effects, because I just don't feel like, through my journey so far, being on this for 67 weeks, I've taken 67 pins. I really haven't had enough side effects to complain. I mean, like I said, I get a little bit of the constipation. I fight through that. But for the most part, and like I said, a little bit of drowsiness here and there. But I mean, it's probably good for me to help me get. I should be getting sleep anyway. But it's not nothing drastic. You know what I mean? It's not like the first time I took amlodipine. I always tell that story, because the first time I took amlodipine, oh my god, I never had no street drug, but I'm pretty sure that's probably the high that those individuals used to be chasing. Because when I had that, and the reason why I'm saying, because other people told me, anyone have any journey related questions? Yes. Anybody got any questions? Just let me know in the chat, because that's all we're doing is question and answer. Usually I get on here and I'm just talking a whole bunch, telling people a whole lot of stuff. But if you have it, but if you, I always say, I blame it on being old. Hey, you might have that right, Jen. You might have that right. Maybe that's a lot of people. But yeah, just throw the cues in the chat with any questions that you got. Because like I said, tonight is just a question and answer. We just sitting around talking to each other. And I don't want to dominate the conversation. I would much rather, talk about things you guys want to talk about and answer any questions. Because generally I come on here and I'm talking about, a whole bunch of other stuff. I ain't got no questions. I feel like RMZ. That's how I do. Y'all got no questions. Nobody got nothing to talk about. Y'all don't want to ask nothing. This is the time you can ask what you want. You got any inquiring minds that want to know something or want to talk about something? Now's the time. And Paul would throw up 184.5. He threw up 184.5. It could be working all night on 4 hours of sleep. Yeah, right. That is something. Taisha's doing good. I think it's Shanae, right? I think it's Shanae. Is it? Oh, Shayna. Is it Shayna? I think it's Shayna, right? She's doing good. She's down. Like I said, 39 pounds. On 10 milligrams, and she's loving it. So she's still doing good. She had a good week. Didn't gain no weight. You know what I mean? She actually lost a half. I think that's like a half a pound. She was like 150. I think she was 158 point something. Now she's at 158 flat. But she might have took her weight today, so she could be actually under that. You know what I mean? She could be under that. You know what I mean? She might be 157 something, because she generally loses a half a pound to a pound and a half every week. She goes anywhere from a half a pound to like 1.5 pounds each week. So you know what I mean? And this is, I'm pretty sure, like her week 31. I think she's on like week 31. So I think that's really good to lose 39 pounds in 31 weeks. So, I mean, like I said, it'll be amazing to see where she ends up at, yeah, she's gonna get it. Yes, absolutely. In the next 30 weeks, are you able to eat? I'm not hungry and still 400 calories under. So my actual the Renfro scale actually told me that my actual maintenance calorie is 2,600. It's 2,600. I'm doing something. Yeah, so it's like 2,600. But I'm actually trying to eat at 2,000 or 1,900. You know what I mean? That's kind of like what it is. That, but no, I mean my surprise. That's the thing. Like so yeah, she is Darian. Definitely. She'll probably jump on at one of these weeks and update. But no, my suppression is it's pretty good, but I get food noise. I get really heavy food noise around, like I want to say day, like most people, day six. Day six is real hectic, you know. Day six and like shot day, I get really kind of like hungry. But throughout, you know, all before the food suppression is really good. Not the first day of the shot, more like the second day. Second day, my suppression picks up, and especially the third. You know what I mean? Yes, for sure. You know that's actually a win. You know what I mean? It's definitely a win doing that, Anissa. But yeah, usually like around like that third day. You know what I mean? That's kind of like when it is that I get like that you know, like real heavy, you know, suppression. Like probably like Monday. Like Monday is when I get like real decent. Monday and Tuesday. Those are days where I'm just not thinking about it at all. You know what I mean? Wednesday it starts a little bit, but like I said, my shot day is Friday, so usually Thursday is when it really kicks up. You know what I mean? And then by Friday morning, I'm glad to be taking my shot. So that's why I said I'm not mad at, you know, actually going up to the higher doses, because I think it was necessary for me. You know, and again, I really like the 12 because the 12.5 actually allowed me to actually use the bathroom more. You know what I mean? So and have suppression, heavy suppression. Yeah. So yeah, my shot day is not right. It's really like I said. It starts for me the next day and the day after. Shot day helps, but the suppression really starts to kick in gradually. But like I said, I did go 8 days without taking my shot. I actually went from Thursday. I took a Thursday before last. How do you think you'll stay on the 15th? Well, that's the thing. I mean, there's no. I'm a Zepbound lifer. You know what I mean? For those that don't remember, I mean, I'm not coming off a Zepbound, you know, ever. As long as it's covered or I can pay for it. I'm not coming off. I went up to the 15 because what was going on is my insurance is gonna go 90 day. So I didn't want 3 months of a 15 without knowing what it would be like. And I was on 12.5, and I knew I wanted to go up at some point. Because we also had a conversation about why wait, because the medications are there and they're available for you, then you'll never know how it does for you if you don't try it, right? So you have to try it. And if you don't like it, what do? You just go back down. It's just that simple. If you don't like a med, you go back down. But you'll never know what it does for you if you never go up. Hey, Life of Shy, how you doing? But yeah, you'll never know, you know, what a med does for you if you never utilize it. You know what I mean? And you stay where you are. You know, I'm not about to struggle. You know what I mean? So how did your event go? Did you get a chance to talk about claiming your health? I did, man, and I can't wait to get the videos and all that. I told everybody about me losing 101 pounds, and I did actually bring all the men up. You know, I had all the men in the building come up front, and I talked to them about prostate cancer testing, and I talked to them about colonoscopies, and about them actually getting wellness checks. So that was a really good part, and all the ladies actually enjoyed that, all their wives and stuff like that, because I was talking to them, because a lot of us men are just worried about finances, you know, and all we do is we say, well, hey, you know, I got enough insurance, you know what I mean? But the kids need your presence, right? They want you, they care about you, they love you, and they need your input. So that's kind of what my spiel was for the guys, you know what I mean? I put them on the spot, but I definitely brought everybody up front, and I talked about it, and I, you know, took a minute and talked about me being 101 pounds down. There are 17 people in the stream on the stream. Please like in the chat. Please like the stream. We got 14 likes. Hit that notification bell so you know when it is that I go live. Tonight I'm just doing Q&A. So anybody got questions, please just put the Q's up and throw them in the chat. So that way, you know, we know what the questions are, because I didn't come here with a structured conversation tonight. We just all sitting around talking to each other right now. We just talking to each other. So put what you like in the chat and put it up there, and I'll answer, you know, what it is that I can as quickly as possible and to the best of my effort and ability, you know, for you. But we all just talking to each other. We're not doing no specifics tonight. We just shooting the breeze. And tonight I just covered the 101 pounds. I covered the fact that I took my first shot of the 15 milligram. And then I just talked about my Renpho Morpho Nova scan. Okay. Because that is a very, very, very good scale, because it actually told me, or let me see, that I do not have the visceral fat that I thought that I did. My visceral fat is in a healthy range. I actually just have subcutaneous fat. And again, if anybody wants to see my results, I actually did put the actual results on my in my post. And it also gives you a score out of 100. So right now I'm a B. I'm an 80 out of 100. My overall health is an 80 out of 100 based on Renpho. It's an 80 out of 100. So if I lose, and my metabolic age is 46. I'm 45. My metabolic age is 46. So I thought that was pretty good because my other scale had me at like 50. Yeah, Jen, you are the queen of 15. You know what I mean? But yeah, and Shayna had asked, how long was I gonna stay on the 15? I plan to stay on the 15 as long as it works for me, and nothing, and I don't feel any side effects or anything wrong. If something occurs where I like lose too much weight or something like that, then I can go down. But I haven't had those kind of issues. You know, I ain't. It's always been a struggle for me to lose. You know what I mean? I just feel like I make it look easy when I go crazy. You know what I mean? I'll get outside and I start doing crazy stuff. You know, walking up hills and doing the resistance training right after and all kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So that's why I actually started losing, but it's never been easy for me. So I don't feel the need of actually going down. I'm going to use the medicine, you know, to the best of its ability for as long as I can use it, so I can keep looking like this. You know what I mean? I have no plans on going nowhere because why would I? I waited all this time for this kind of miracle, along with my hard work. I'm gonna keep taking it. I'm gonna keep on taking it. You know what I mean? And I'm for anybody else. If you haven't tried it, how you know how what it could do for you? You know what I mean? You know, don't be afraid. Just move on to the next shot, unless it causes you some sort of issue or angst, or you lose too much weight, or you feel like something's unhealthy. But I always give everybody my numbers, and I let them know I'm extremely healthy. You know, my protein is good, my bone mass is good. The actual Renpho told me that I'm very muscular, and that pretty much my actual muscle mass and fat-free mass is above average, you know, which means that if I lost 30 pounds, right, if I want to break it down for you scientifically, I would look very muscular. You know what I'm saying? If I actually got down to 187, 190, between 187 and 93, I would look even much more muscular. The only reason why I don't look extremely muscular is because of the puffiness that I still have from being still a bit overweight. You know what I'm saying? So the scale is telling me that under all of this, I do have a lot of muscle. It's actually showing me that because I saw the weights. And I think I was like, I had like 165 pounds of muscle mass and like 155 pounds of like fat-free mass. So that's pretty big. So the other thing was what was the other thing? Carnivore. Yeah. So carnivore, so to speak, sort of kind of do carnivore. I'm not like a total carnivore. I mean, but because I do have like some carbs, you know what I mean? But I do eat steak regularly. You know what I mean? I do eat steak regularly. Everybody know that. You know what I mean? Like I'm definitely one that, you know, eats my fair share of ribeye. You know what I mean? Especially grass fed. So that was Geraldine's question. Yep. So just Q&A. Like I said, feel free to throw your any questions that you might have in the chat, and we'll answer those as you know, they come up, because that's what we're doing. We're just doing the Q&A. I covered the Renpho scale. I covered the 15 that I just started, and I covered, you know, how I felt on that over the first couple of days. You know what I mean? I like to probably come back when I actually get to the 1 month mark, you know, and I'll talk about it further, because I feel like that's when you kind of like have a lot to say. I know I did pee a lot the first day I took it. I took it Friday and Saturday. I was peeing like crazy. Jen mentioned, she was like glad it ain't coming out the other end. But you know what I mean? I don't mind that, because I would rather be that than be constipated. So. And the 12.5 helped me to not be also. 12.5 was one that I actually really went to the bathroom on. Jim, you said you were going to. Well, no. I mean, we still do resistance training, you know what I mean, at home. I didn't do as much this week because I was really busy. So I wasn't able to. And then, as you know, I wasn't able to actually, I'm not able to lift weights due to my neck. I started physical therapy on Thursday. So I still, this coming Wednesday, because I have the maybe you might have missed that one, but I have the degenerative disc disease in my neck. So I was actually lifting weights pretty heavily. Probably I want to say from January to February, and I started to really like how I love from February to March. I want to say February to March, And I actually hurt, my neck started hurting me, and I actually ended up on a steroid pack for a week and all of that. So now I just still back to using my own body weight, and doing the outside because I can't use it. I can't use treadmills because of my feet, and I can't lift weights. So I don't think the gym would do much, for me right now. I still have to use my own body weight and do my outdoor walking. If I do use the gym, it'll be for the red light therapy that I seen Vanity talking about. So that would be my thing as far as that. I would be doing red light therapy. That would be something I do want to try. I did, like I said, go for a consultation for a cool sculpting, but it was really expensive, much more expensive than I thought it would be. Because I wanted to get like what they call a flank, which is like your love handles and around the stomach, and that was, hey Miss Nikki 48. That was actually like I think anywhere between $6,000 and $9,000. And I was like, I need to get another opinion because that's a little high. And if I just did one of the areas for 4 treatments, I think it was like probably more like $4,000, somewhere around there. And I was like, I didn't think it was this expensive. I said, I might as well get a damn tummy tuck. I'm gonna pay all this money. So you know what I mean? I was like, that's really really expensive. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Yeah, so that's what I'm talking about. Shayna, I definitely want to do that. That's what I said, Anissa. I said 6K. The lady told me at first when she said, well, what we estimate is, so what I had to do was I had to send them photos. I sent them photos of like my belly, and my back, because that's really all that's really the only place I have any fat. Like my subcutaneous fat is there. It's literally like in that spare tire section. It's in that spare tire section. And I felt like, no matter how much weight I lose, I'm gonna still have a little bit of that. So I felt like, hey, that would help to get like that cool sculpting. And lo and behold, when I went, I mean, she said I would need 4 treatments, and those 4, it was 3 or 4 treatments. She said, and it would be like 92, $9,300, and I was like, that's a lot, that's insane. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, why I'm gonna pay damn near $10,000 for some for sculpting? I mean, I might as well go ahead and get some damn lipo or something if I'm gonna pay that much. I knew I was off it right then because I thought it was gonna be a couple grand, which I was cool with. She said like, oh, it'd be like 2,500 or something like that. I was like, okay, that kind of makes sense to me in my mind. But when she said 9,000, I'm like, what y'all trying to pay the rent on me? So I'm gonna get another opinion though, like from a different place, and then see what they say. If they come back with the same money, then I know, hey, that's legitimate. But I wasn't paying that. I said, y'all crazy. And then she quickly went to 6,000. I'm like, okay, so what y'all trying to do here? You know what I mean? So if you just get this part, it's 6,000. You get that part, it's 9,000. I'm like, yeah, that's a lot. And if I spend that money, I want some. You know what I mean? Just go to Sonobello for that part. Yeah. So I know about Sonobello too. I know about Sonobello. So I looked at that too, because like I said, and this is not something I'm doing today, right? This is something that I want to do like at like maybe the summer or the end of the year. You know what I mean? Go to Turkey for a mommy maker for 6K. Turkey, oh my God. Yeah, see, I'm scared at those foreign places. I ain't going to no foreign place. A lot of people do go to the foreign places though, and they save a lot of money. But I would like to still be alive after the surgery, so I don't think so. But yeah, that is definitely day makeover. Yeah, but I definitely felt like that was way too much. That was way too much. I mean, $6,000 to $9,000 is crazy. God, as soon as I heard it, I'm like, well, that's actual like lipo numbers. I'm not paying that. That's crazy. I might as well just do that. Like I would literally do that. I would do that before I did that. I would never pay. I just thought it was gonna be a couple grand. Like I said, 3,000 would have probably been the absolute highest I thought they would have said. So, yep, yep. That's what I did. I laughed and got the heck out of there. Still be alive. Yeah, still be alive. Nothing wrong with it. Derry, I'm crazy. Yeah. But yeah, that's all it is. It's just because I know I got that subcutaneous fat that we all know. Like sometimes even when you do stuff, it's probably not going nowhere. You know what I mean? Like once you stretch your stomach or your belly out so far, even when you lose, you're gonna have that skin around there. So I probably would need that anyway. You know what I mean? That probably would be the thing that I really need. So, just looking at that. But before I get to all that, just probably trying like the red light therapies and stuff like that, just to give it a little bit of the help there. That's all. That's all. So we got 20 people watching the stream and only 16 likes. So please like the stream if you actually like to see this type of content. Hit that notification bell and put the cues in the chat because we just having a conversation with each other. I'm not here to preach anything tonight. I'm just literally on here talking with you guys, answer your questions as they pop up. And like I said, we'll end the stream if there are no more questions. But If there are, this is the time to ask. So we just sitting here talking to each other. So if you want to ask anything at all, feel free. Feel free to ask. All right, just throw those cues up there so we know that's what's going on. I'm just sitting here recapping my night. Recapping my week. Talking about my actual 100 pound, 101 pound down, the 15 milligram that I started, the fact that I'm a Zepbound lifer. Don't be afraid to go up if you need to, because if you don't, how will you ever know? If what your actual dose is if you don't try it. And I'm not one that actually lost, just would lose too much weight. You know what I mean? She's pretty good. Her journey's good. She's down 39 pounds in 31 weeks. So on the 10 milligrams. So she's actually doing pretty amazing, being down 39 pounds in 31 weeks. I said I'm very interested to see where she's going to be at 72 weeks if she's down 39 pounds in 31 weeks. So I think she's doing really good. But what's even better with her is she lost more inches than even weight. You know what I mean? She lost a lot of inches. Hey Sydney, appreciate that. How do I feel about alcohol on the joint? Alcohol? Well, I don't drink, so I don't know. I would say that most people, exactly right, Greg. You don't know sometimes until you try to do working along with your peer. You can always go back down. Yeah. Because I know you went up too, Grant. I know you went up. You went up in dose. To the 15, and what was it that you held where you were wearing some blue clothes? Oh, Sydney. That was our Bosses and Babe in Blue. It's called Bosses and Babes in Blue Networking. That was the event that I shared. And we do that, we're doing it a few times a year, 2 and 3 times. Now we kind of cut it back to 1 because it's a lot to do. And we like to really have, very detailed, thorough events, so it's a lot of work. So we did cut it back just a little bit, but that's Boston Baby in Blue. I'm going to put the video up as soon as I get the actual video. Those videos that you guys saw was just videos. You made a good MC for the event. It looked like, man. Hey, yeah, man. Me and my wife co-host those events. So, that is our network. So we have several vendors that follow us that do all kind of things. They do real estate. They actually have items that they sell, from clothing to candles to, you name it. They bake things, all kind of stuff. And we actually bring those people together along with guests, and guests be able to feature their businesses. And they actually do like credit repair. It's like people from all types of businesses. We bring them all together and we just have a good time. So that's kind of what y'all seen. And I'll post the actual video. We've been doing it for a while, so you can actually see it on my page too. But yeah, alcohol. I forgot who asked me about that. But yeah, I think that I wouldn't personally, I don't, like I said, I don't drink personally. My wife don't. I like only socially every now and then she drink like wine and stuff. But other than that, yeah. So, but this medication is one that actually is supposed to actually help you to not drink. So I think that it probably would be problematic. I feel like. But yeah, we were talking about the higher doses. What do I plan to do? I plan to lose 20 more pounds. That's my goal, because I'd rather be like 198, 199, 200 pounds. So if I gain 5, 10, 15, 20 pounds, it still don't put me into obesity, because 220 and below keeps me out of obesity at 6 foot tall. And that's where I want to stay, out of obesity. That's it. So if I can lose another 20 pounds, it's just for safety. It's just so that way I stay away from, tipping the scale, and everything else is cosmetic. 184.5. No, actually, Renfro told me 188 to 193, Darian. It said 188 to 193. Remember what I said to you? I'm very muscular. Renfro said that I'm very muscular. I'm above average muscular. This is Renfro, not me. Renfro. So my actual fat-free, I think, mass was like 155. My skeletal was like 96 pounds. And that's the muscle like connected to the bone. But fat-free mass, that's everything outside of the fat. It's like 165, So yeah, that's a lot of muscle. Renfro don't know it all. I would have said what he. Hey man, I ain't getting no DEXA. Renfro too damn close. It's within 2%, and that's a fact. So I ain't getting no DEXA. I don't need no DEXA. Renfro already told me I'm good, along with all my blood work. I do got blood work.
The Achieve 4 trial included 2,749.
That's my actual MacBook I got in front of me, and it's got the Foundeo Achieve trial playing in front of me. So I'm looking at the Foundeo weight loss, Achieve. It said Foundeo weight loss pill clears heart safety bar. So that's really good. But yeah, this is the Achieve trial that they're talking about. Did you guys see where I posted that potentially that the RETA guideline might be you need to have a BMI of possibly 45 or better to actually get on that? Did anybody you know what I mean? Did anybody actually see that? Because that's crazy. Gotta be 45. I've been saying that you probably should be at least clinically obese. 188 only for the same thing. Might as well go for 184. Nope. I don't even. You know what's crazy? I'm not even going for the Renfo number like at all. Like I'm actually going for about 198. I'm about 10 pounds above like what they talking about. Because I'm looking at like 198 to 200 pounds. So you know what I mean. But that's why like I tell y'all that y'all do want to get these certain kind of scales and stuff like that, just so that way y'all can see that you're not really, wrong when you say you don't want to go down to certain weights, because how muscular are you? Do you really know? I saw that. So it's only for class 2 obesity plus. Yep. Well, that's not guaranteed yet, but that's a possibility. A possibility. It's going to be for clinically obese. And I always said that it probably, so I was thinking it would be for maintenance. For retatrutide for maintenance? I'm not sure what you mean, Anissa. No, so I think 40, or you probably talking about Foundeo, maybe that, because I just mentioned that. But no, the Renfo, I'm not the Renfo, that means insurance will say 50 BMI. Yeah, probably, you know what I mean? But what I think what is going to happen though is probably going to be like probably about 40 though. It's probably going to be a 40 BMI and possibly a 35 or so if you have comorbidities. But they might just say flat 40 or above. And I'm not completely mad at that because of the rate of weight that you lose while you're using that, right? You lose a very high amount of weight with that treatment. You know what I mean? So I think you should have the weight to lose. Then that way they won't have to worry about you dropping off the drug prematurely. You know what I mean? Because if you do have a weight, like for me, when I started, my BMI was 43. My BMI was a 43. It was a 42 point. I think it was a 43. So that's the thing. Right now, my BMI is actually 29, right? So that is 14 percentage points back. But I'm saying I was clinically obese and it made sense, right? Because you want to have probably 100 pounds or more to lose if you get on that drug, right? And if your BMI is a 32, right? Why would you get on Retta? Knowing that you're probably going to overshoot, whatever it is that you're supposed to weigh. And probably by more than that, because like I just said, a lot of people don't even know how much muscle they carry. So you need to know how much muscle you carry before you try to get to a weight that won't make sense, right? Because Renfo told me they would like me to lose 29 pounds, based on the fact that I was at 218 that day. You know what I mean? So that kind of like is where I'm getting that range of weight that I'm talking about, because that would actually put me at, I guess, what is that? If my math is good, that's like 189, right? So based on my muscle. But BMI would tell me I should be 183. So a lot of and especially like we always talk about the ladies, being that a lot of y'all are like 5'4", 5'3", right? A lot of y'all will probably say, hey, have you heard all the me talking about Reddit? No, but I gotta check it out. I'll check it out. But I don't, maybe I did hear her talking about it. But they did say it's powerful. But a lot of the ladies, like I said, sometimes they overshoot because you could be kind of muscular at 5'4", you know what I mean, and shooting to be 130 pounds, and that's shooting past, you know what I mean, where you should be when you probably should be about 145, you know what I mean? That's probably your weight. Your weight probably should be about 145, not, 130, 125, because a lot of ladies say that, 141 is my number. Yeah, and then based on if you got a DEXA or got like the Renfo I'm talking about, it probably will actually show you how much muscle you have. So you basically overshooting where you need to get to lose fat, right? You're going way beyond, like, if you're saying, hey, I mean, even not you, but I'm saying like your BMI chart, right? Because in all actuality, just even looking at that, if you get the BMI chart, it's probably going to tell you, if you go for like a DEXA or something and see your muscle, they'll probably tell you to get the 150. And you'll be healthy. You know what I mean? But here it is. You might have 10 pounds to lose and you're trying to lose 20. 99 pounds of muscle. Yeah. So that is, if that's your fat free, then it's possible. You know what I mean? I don't know the whole thing, but like I said, mine was 165 pounds of muscle. So that's what I mean. Like you might have enough muscle to where you start losing muscle when you get that low. You know what I mean? So it's really good. Information for transcended to is promising as well. I'm sure the criteria. Yeah. I think so too. But we talking about Retta. So with the Retta, with them saying that. Now, me personally, I will never be a Reddit user. I will never be a Reddit user. And I'm okay with saying never because I was at 101. Oh, that's good. That's good. That's good. So that's what I'm saying. So with your muscle being that, right? Some of the ladies, right? She's been on Dave channel a few times talking about driving being kicked out the fat melting up. Yeah, I think I did. I saw her. I saw her. They had her on there for like quite a while. You know what I mean? And then they kicked her off. Yeah, that was terrible. But yeah, with y'all muscle. I would implore you to either get a DEXA or either get a scale that has the 8 electrodes. You need a scale where you actually can put your hands on the electrode and it can measure your upper body. Because what I'm saying is, if you ladies are giving me those numbers from scales that you only step on, is probably incorrect. You might have more muscle than what that says. And I'm gonna tell you like this. My body fat percentage, all the time I'm saying, oh, I've been 30, 29, 28. My actual body fat percentage was 24.5. on the actual Renpho, when in fact, and I'm talking about the Morphoscan Nova, right? Because there's a lot of Renphos, right? But I'm talking about specifically the Morphoscan Nova, the latest one with the 8 electrodes that you put your hands around and it actually measures the upper body. That is very important, right? It's and the Hume. The Hume is really good too. But the ones that you just step on, they're literally estimating the whole top of your body. So you are actually working out with goals that are wrong. You know what I'm saying? You're literally working out, chasing goals that aren't even accurate. They're not accurate. Because literally, I'm thinking that I got 29% body fat, and my body fat percentage is 24.5. 24. And if y'all remember watching my videos, I said, well, hopefully I can get to 24%. I'm sitting here at 24% already. That's why I'm telling y'all it's so important to get the right numbers. Because you chasing something that's not real. That's not real. Like y'all numbers ain't right. They're not right. They're not right. Like, cause mine wasn't right. You know what I mean? Like then when you actually see it, it's like, oh, I'm trying to get to a body fat percentage that I can get to. Like with my optimal body fat for a man is between 16 and 22% technically. But if you actually get on the internet with some of the meatheads, they're gonna say 10% or 20%, period, right? But I say 10 to 12% is for like the young meatheads that's literally like lifting like crazy and going crazy every day, all day. But for regular general men, it's about 16 to 22%. That is literally, you know what I'm saying? Like that's literally like what it is that you want to shoot for as a man. And what I'm saying is I'm sitting here right now at 24%, thinking that that's what I can ultimately end up at. Are you kidding me? So I actually can end up at 20%, with another 20 pounds, most likely. You know what I'm saying? Or better. So that's why I'm saying, like, you don't want to be chasing things that's inaccurate. That's why it's important. I paid $190 for the scale. I paid $190. And it's an investment that's worth it because you'll pretty much get results that's 2% within the DEXA scan at your fingertips all the time. All the time. Versus you actually having to get a DEXA. Because crazy enough, the DEXA scan for me, without all the extras, was like $190. So I said, well, hey, the DEXA scan is $190. And then this is $190. I'm going to get this. My 4-point Renpho says 104 pounds muscle and says it's high. My body fat is 32.2%. Now, that's what I'm saying. So get the 8. Get the one with the 8 and then see what it says. I guarantee y'all the results. I'll actually challenge all of y'all. Get the Renpho that actually has the 8 electrodes. Do that, get on that scale, and then I guarantee you your results is probably better than you think. It's probably better than you think. You guys probably all have much better lower body fat, number one, lower visceral fat, right? And lower fat overall than you think. I'm telling y'all. Yeah, it's y'all literally probably don't even have to chase the weight that y'all chasing because y'all doing it off of false information. A new device. I would. I'm telling you, I'm not getting no money off this scale. No links in my bio or none of that for it. But I'm telling you, go to Amazon, get the scale because I couldn't believe it. Just put that in perspective, right? Imagine all this time I'm saying, well, I got to get this visceral fat down and all this, and I don't really have it. I got to make sure that, now don't go broke messing with you. Man, ain't nobody going broke messing with me. My numbers could be wrong. Yeah, I'm telling y'all. But it might be for the better though. I'm not telling y'all that your numbers are going to be bad. I'm saying they're going to be a lot better. I'm telling you. Take it from, listen, I thought my body fat was 29% and it's 24. That's crazy. I don't know if like if you know like that's crazy. That's crazy. And then the visceral fat, like come on, man. Come on, man. Nothing. Hey, look, hey, I don't do this for no money. I just want to do it so y'all can come back and be like, man, Jesus, right? That this scale was way off. And if y'all go look at my thing, you'll see it. There's an in-body or second skin place around you. I think some people can get it done at the gym too. But what I'm saying is if you're gonna have it right in your home, right? If you're gonna have it right in your home, you definitely want. So she's saying $199. See, I paid $190. I paid $189 because it was like 33% off. Because the regular price is like $240. So that's still a good sale. You know what I'm saying? That's still a good sale. It's still a good sale. I got one that scales with the hand and feet, and also the Navy fat using biometric. It's the same number of scale. Yeah, so that's the thing. I'm telling you, if you get the actual tape measures, you can do that measurements with that. But as far as the scales, you need those 8 biometrics. Yeah, where's the link? Make sure you tag. I should put the link up, right? You know what I mean? Shit, I'm on here telling y'all to go get that scale. But again, like I said, this is for y'all because I want y'all to actually have the actual right numbers. And I'm saying it was so it to me is alarming. It's alarming that you think about how much anguish and frustration that a lot of us have based on our numbers every week. You know what I'm saying? Like seriously, think about the anguish that we have, right? The anguish about our numbers. And what I'm saying is your numbers could be wrong. Like you're chasing something. Y'all chasing something that y'all don't need. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm talking about visceral fat and I'm in a healthy range. I'm talking about body fat and I'm close. I'm already at the goal I said I was going to try to get to over the next 6 months. Like, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. And then to know that I'm much more muscular than I even thought. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just crazy. So there's that. But like I said, before we get out of here, if you guys have any questions, just throw them in the chat. You know, we'll answer a few more questions before I jump off of here. And let y'all guys have the rest of your night back. I just wanted to jump in and do a Q&A because I know a lot of times I get on here and we always talking about things that I already, just come in and start, talking about. But I just wanted us to sit around and talk to each other and just kind of like shoot the breeze and talk about stuff in the chat, and I covered my 15 milligram, just starting that, my 15 milligram dose. And I encourage people that if they actually are scared to go up, don't go up and see how it is. And then if you don't like it, go back down. You know what I mean? But why struggle? Make it easier on yourself, because I'm not one that pretty much just lose weight automatically like some people. And I'm not saying people lose weight automatically, but what I'm saying is I'm not one that's worried about losing too much weight. The standard electrical scale only measures your lower body and guesstimates your upper body. The higher electrical is one. That's exactly what I said, Miss Nikki. I just said that. I'm trying to tell them. And I never really dug that deep into it. To know now, I'm like, how are we doing that? We actually here going crazy off of estimates. You hear more for G's on the men's panel. Yes, Tuesday. Yes, sir. Thanks for reminding me, Darian. We will have our men's panel on Tuesday. Myself, Darian, RMZ, Grant, Paul, so I think I hope I didn't leave anybody out. But yeah, we'll all do our men's panel on Tuesday. Should be interesting. You guys can go to the community pages. It's posted on all of our pages, and actually drop your questions in there. We'll make sure RMZ gets them, as he moderates it and leads the group, leads the panel. So, we'll make sure that he actually has, those questions that you guys ask available, for you. But yeah, man, please, I implore you guys, please get that scale. And then cause how are we, and I'll say this, right? That's like if you're a diabetic, right? And the scale, I mean, and the numbers are pretty much saying that you're coming back at a 7, right? But in all actuality, you a 5.9. You know what I mean? Like, that's a big gap. You know what I mean? And that's literally taking you from one status to another. I feel like it's the same thing with the scales. It's guesstimating things, your whole upper body. Like, that's insane. Like, you know what I mean? I never thought about it that way, where, yeah, total body weight is okay, but when you get into the thing like we getting into, you know what I mean? Like, when you get, good night, Shanae. And when you getting into this thing like we getting into it, you definitely want to make sure that you got the appropriate numbers. You know what I mean? Because that's just an issue. That's a serious issue. You know what I mean? So, all right. So it looks like we're gonna pile up out of here tonight. I definitely appreciate you guys stopping in, doing the Q&A. And chilling with me. And next Sunday we'll be right back here, same time, same back channel. Right around 8 o'clock. So, like I always like to end all of my videos, Obesity Warriors stand up. We're in this together. Later.